Hi, I'm Robin Fickey, Senior Vice President for Research at World Business Chicago. I am at the Chicago Venture Summit, Future of Climate Tech with Nisaini from Microsoft. Nisaini, take a moment and introduce yourself.
Hi, nice to meet everyone. I'm Nisaini Rexach, and I am on the Philanthropy team at Microsoft, and I'm super pumped about this conversation with Robin.
Yes, I'm so excited. It's such an exciting time to be here, and we've actually, this is not the first time that we've been at an event like this together.
That's correct.
So yeah, let's take a moment and sort of share, tell us a little bit about how often Microsoft and World Business Chicago have partnered together and why you continue to kind of engage in these events.
Fantastic question, Robin. We have had the privilege of collaborating with World Business Chicago, upwards of 15 unique experiences. Wow. From 2-day experiences to South by Southwest conferences to AI digital native conferences to working closer with the WBC staff to supporting startups, the Think Chicago student strand of programming. We view World Business Chicago as an anchor partner in what we do here in the market in Chicago. And we are beyond thrilled to call WBC a grantee in our portfolio and to continue to invite you back based on the ROI of our collaborations.
That's great. I'm very excited to hear that. And so let's pause for a second and just think about how do you and how does Microsoft really view these partnerships with economic development organizations? Everything's changing, right? There's so much going on with tech. There's so much going on within climate issues. How do you see this type of relationship impacting the things that are important to everyone and to Microsoft? And what's coming up with that?
Yeah, so in our role on our team, we view in these metro areas that our corporate investment with an organization comparable to WBC and other markets, such as Atlanta and LA, we are deeply invested in working with economic development arms, with the actual city entity of those metro areas, as we do here in Chicago. And we think we could do so much more with an organization like WBC, because we're not just saying, hey, we want to invest, give financial endowments, and then we are out. We want to be side by side collaborators versus just removing barriers, but actually thought partnering and program development and execution.
Yeah, so much of what economic development involves are things that really, that corporations really care about, like workforce development, right? We really want to understand what are the talent needs. We also really need to understand where is the market going and how can we prepare our residents who are thinking of entering, or entrepreneurs who are thinking of entering these spaces best. So I think that you put a really great point that it's not just about being kind of a foundation support and you're out. It really is that partnership and that thought partnership that's super important. So then we're here at the Venture Summit. There's lots of founders here. What would you recommend, being a thought partner, what would you recommend to founders that they get out of this type of event?
I think this event uniquely positions founders to build their social capital, to really give visibility to their startup, to corporate innovators that are in the room, investors, VCs, and it's really cultivating seeds right now that could be harvested 2, 3, 6 months from now, potentially even by the next Venture Summit in May. Who did you meet today that has now more visibility into your startup, the problem you're solving, who wants to be a champion?
Yeah.
And there's this thing, right? You see things a minimum of 3 times and you start to become invested.
Yeah. That's actually a really great point about the need for repetition. And when you're thinking of kind of bringing people together and convening, that you do have to do it. It can't just be a one and done, which is kind of a theme that you've mentioned.
And what you said about convening, WBC has really strong convening power.
Yeah, I think that's really important. When I first started at WBC, I didn't actually fully appreciate what that meant and the breadth of it and how it's really impactful. And I think you raise a really good point on there. So then you have a worldview, right? When founders are they're busy, they're focusing on their product, right? They're really trying to build something and it's very sort of nose to the grindstone. Help us lift our view, because your worldview is so broad, right? All of the cities that Microsoft and your work touches, what should we be looking out for over the next 5 to 10 years? What's top of mind for you?
Artificial intelligence is really shifting at a very rapid speed, the future of work as we know it. I also think it's a unique opportunity for startups who traditionally would have not had enough resources from their own team development. How much headcount did they have on their budget line items to hire staff? So some of that digital burden that comes from these baked-in work streams, how can you leverage AI to power your own productivity as a lean startup?
Oh, that's really great. Thank you for taking the time and sharing that. All right. Any three things that you think we should be talking about right now, Nisaini, before we wrap up?
Bing Chat Enterprise.
Oh, yes.
Building your social capital post-pandemic, which it looks a little different.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And lifting as you rise. I did not get anywhere by myself, and I don't ever want to be too busy to bring others along with me.
I love that. That's a great way to end this. Thank you so much, Nisaini.
Thank you, Robin.